we built an application first, but if you're building an API company, you've got to build infrastructure first.
Welcome everyone to UpTech Report, our Apply Tech series. UpTech Report is sponsored by TerraLeap. Learn how to leverage the power of video at terraleap.io. Today I'm very excited to be joined by my guest, Kashyap Deorah, who's based in San Francisco, the founder and CEO of HyperTrack. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So your product is a logistics automation API, basically allowing you to add live location sharing with ETA. You're targeting those who are CTOs or CPOs or operations teams that specifically are in physical retailers involved in logistics. This might be a platform that they want to check out. I'm curious, on your site you say, easiest way to drive operations efficiency with app location. I'm curious, when you set out, what was the problem you saw that you wanted to solve, and how has that evolved over time?
Sure. I come from a retail and e-commerce background, and what I saw was that digital and physical worlds were sort of converging, and live location was a centerpiece to that. So from the time that you want to allocate a delivery to a driver, to tracking how the progress is going, to tracking the order on the way, to sort of optimizing the routes and figuring out what's the best way to do it. For everything operations, when it comes to home delivery, live location was a centerpiece, and a lot of companies were struggling with that piece. They were all investing millions of dollars to build the same infrastructure all over again, and we thought there's just a better way of doing things.
This is a concept I'm seeing in a couple other areas as well, is building the underlying technology that then you can just easily pull in. You don't have to be great at everything when you're building a new app or developing a software. And I think this is a great place where you don't have to be really good at geolocation and being able to add live location data to your app. You could just pull in someone who's done it really well. Did I describe that effectively of that mindset?
Absolutely. The pace at which the world is changing, some of them call it the creation economy, where you have to build things that are suitable to your need. And what you really want is APIs that abstract out the infrastructure layer and give you the feature that you want, but hand over full control over where that feature lives inside of your application, right? So they control the application and the user experience while abstracting out the infrastructure and sort of the basic use case. And logistics is an area where it lends itself beautifully to the API economy or the creation economy.
For HyperTrack, you started originally about 4 or 5 years ago, but the last few years really getting into the product development and bringing this to market. I'm excited to hear more about your story. Those who want to hear it, stick around for part 2 of our interview where we'll diving deep into his story. But to give us a taste, what's something you wish you had known 5 years ago that you know now?
That's a great question. I underestimated the complexity of the infrastructure piece and what it takes to build an API product and sort of infrastructure software. I've built and sold 3 companies before this. This is my 4th company. And all previous companies were sort of application software. And what I learned the hard way after the first 2-3 years and the first version of the product, which actually failed because of architecture issues, is that we built an application first, but if you're building an API company, you've got to build infrastructure first.
That's powerful. Coming back to HyperTrack, the concept itself, can you give a use case or a case study of one of your clients right now that are using it from kind of beginning to end? How does it work for them?
Sure. So, there is a medicine delivery sort of pharmaceutical company that supplies to stores nationwide. And after COVID, what they saw was the demand from app companies and app delivery companies just skyrocketed, and the demand from stores actually dipped substantially, for obvious reasons. And they thought, why don't we extend our logistics team to not just deliver from the warehouse to the store, but warehouse to the door? And in doing so, they wanted a delivery app that their riders could use. They wanted to use their live location to dispatch the orders efficiently. They wanted order tracking for the end customer. They wanted their ops managers in the various cities to keep tabs of the live progress happening on the field. They were able to go live with all of this within 3 weeks of starting with HyperTrack. I think that's the power of this platform.
Sounds like the simplicity as well to be able to pull it in. You don't have to have a long development cycle to say, let's add live location data to our application.
Absolutely. And you have enterprises who are not quite looking to buy the end-to-end solution, because more often than not, for a large operation that doesn't scale because it's too brittle and rigid in its own way, a lot of enterprises who consider logistics as their core, and especially home delivery now, in the post-COVID world, they want to build their own workflows, and they want tight control over the application, but they don't want to reinvent the wheel and go figure out how the OS treats sensors and locations, or how to manage this data in the cloud, or how to navigate the complex world of maps. They just want, how can I build this faster and easier in a way that just fits into my current system.
What's your business model? How does it work? Is it just a flat monthly or yearly subscription based on the usage? What does it work?
It's priced as a SaaS product. You either pay per user, and here the user is the driver who's delivering, or you pay per order.
If you could share a word of wisdom to a CTO or a CPO who's looking at this whole space and they're like building this new software, and what would you share? Just a word of wisdom for them.
I would say you've got to figure out your home delivery logistics automation for the future, because your life depends on it. I've been in the retail and e-commerce world. Things are converging. Just as physical retailers thought e-commerce would never be large, and 20 years later, here we are. The location logistics piece to the last mile is here, and it's the future. And in building that out and building that automation, pick an API over a full-blown application, because that's going to bring you to the future that you want.
Coming back to the technology itself, anything you can share how it is different or just uniqueness from whether it's building your own or other options that are out there?
Sure. It's it's an API first product, and I think that's the beauty of it. That's where we're winning customers over everybody else. Is it gives you everything you want and nothing that you don't. And I think that navigating that line we've sort of been able to abstract out the infrastructure complexity and the core sort of building blocks of what your application needs in a way that it works across applications, across regions, across company sizes, whether you're on demand or scheduled work, whether it's gig work or full-time employees, whether it's visits, service visits you're doing, or product delivery. It's the underlying problem is abstracted out. You can focus on what's core to your business and not have to worry about infrastructure.
What's the most exciting feature or element that you guys have just brought to release, or is just about to release?
That's a good question. So we recently launched an insights module. So we were sitting on a lot of location data, contextual location data. So location data sort of organized as orders, and how is the day of the user, how much distance did they travel, because you can automate financial payouts with that. So it was a gold mine of information, and we saw a pattern of customers asking the same questions over and over again of this is what they wanted from the reports, this is what they wanted from analytics, and these are the insights they wanted from that data. So we sort of packaged that into an insights module that we released. We quietly released last month, and we're going to do a slightly louder release next week. It's just phenomenal. It's a pleasure to use that product. It's just I'm very excited about that.
I can tell you, like, it's just awesome. That's what you want to say. But nothing like having good data and analytics about what's going on, what's happening in.
It's amazing what it uncovers for you, right? It's when the data gives you the answers you want before you even have the question. That's when magic happens, right? You look at it and go, oh wow, that's what's happening on my field, right? And when you have customers saying, your data helped me understand this basic inefficiency in my system, this is what I was doing wrong, I fixed that, and boom, this is the impact I had. That's what you want to hear, right?
What can you share then of your long-term vision? What's your roadmap? Where do you see the company in 5 years from now?
Got it. Yeah, our mission is to track the world's commerce. Anything that moves with commercial value, we believe that there's a whole range of enterprise software that'll be built on top of the live location data on the move, for your business. We are the enabler for unlocking the value out of that data.
Kashyap, I appreciate you sharing how you guys are kind of bringing to market a new whole simple way for physical retailers to have live logistics and bringing that to market. It's pretty exciting. So those who want to learn more, you can go to hypertrack.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. And then you can be able to, what's the good first action for them to take when they go to the website?
Well, sign up. And when you sign up, there is an app you can download from the App Store or the Play Store, and just play around with, the basic use cases, sharing live location, viewing it on the dashboard, creating trips with ETA, creating geofences, and so on. So that would be the immediate thing to do. And of course, if you're a larger company, just give us a call. We'll schedule a demo and would love to understand what your challenges are in logistics.
Awesome. And for those that want to hear more about his story and the journey that he's been on, lessons learned, several startups you founded, so I know there's a lot of insights you have. Stick around for part 2 of our interview, and we'll see you guys next time. Have you seen a company using AI, machine learning, or other technology to transform the way we live, work, and do business? Go to uptechreport.com and let us know.